What's going on, everybody? It is your channel host, Dr. Goon. Welcome to Goon Nation, where today we have a fun versus battle that's kind of a catastrophe for one side. It's a really fun battle from our childhood, but it ends up pretty one sided if you really look at things. And here to present Harry Potter vs. Percy Jackson with me is my good pal Lumos Theramax, if you want to say what's up.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Lumos Theramax. Normally, I'm a DC guy, and you can check me out on my channel. I'm sure the link will be down low. But today, I'm actually here to jump out of the box and do some other stuff I really enjoy that's outside of DC, which is super fun. So I'm really excited to talk about two other verses I love, Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. And thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, me and Lumos are planning a ton of fun crossovers and collabs, so definitely keep a lookout for that and check out his other content as well. For most content creators in this field, you're super familiar with two of the most iconic stories of our time. One being Percy Jackson, one being Harry Potter. One being a prophesized wizard, the other being a demigod. This, although it has a ton of nostalgic value, this is not close at all. So I guess I'll talk about what Harry can do. And then, well, okay. So this is a stomp. So I'm trying to think of how to present it without it being too obvious right away. But I guess we'll just get into it. Fuck it. The stats are an issue. So Harry, at best, like the best scaling you could possibly get for him, comes from the Hogwarts Legacy game. And this is where a dwarf showed in like a pocket dimension they could move a star. And they stated the power to move a star was magic taught to them by a Hogwarts professor, which means the higher tiers can potentially be like star level. And obviously, using magic to move a star across the dimension, that would be FTL to MFTL. Outside of that, in the regular verse, they have light speed scaling, lightning scaling, of course. They have Harry having defensive shield spells. He has his curse that's customary, that he learned from a book and was made up by the Half-Blood Prince, aka Snape. This can cut you open and slice you open. He has stun magic and stun spells, different variations of that, and paralysis spells. He can disarm you. He can teleport himself. He also has... I guess we'll give him the broom. Does that go with you?
Yeah, go for it.
Is Harry too broken with the broom, or do we allow it?
Oh, that makes things tougher, a lot tougher.
Dude, he might just fucking Tokyo Drift.
I feel like it's fair. It's in character for him to use it. He summoned it to himself during Goblet of Fire, did he not?
Yeah, we'll give it to him.
It'll take time. It'll take time for him to summon it, assuming because he just doesn't carry on at all times. But he should be able to pull it to him. I think that's fair.
We'll assume to show up to fight Percy, he flew there. We'll give him it. So he has his broom. But yeah, he has the broom. He knows the unforgivable curses, which is like the killing curse, the mind control, the torture curse. But he doesn't have that dog in him to really use those. You have to have a certain mindset to be able to use those. He is rather quick, responding to the fastest in the verse, typically. It's just his bag of tricks, and the potency is a little questionable. But yeah, that's Harry Potter's bag, and it's just not enough. Like, you want to talk about some of the crazy shit Percy's been tied to?
Okay, so Percy Jackson has been through quite a bit whenever it comes to his entire history. Percy has fought gods. Percy has fought children of Gaia, Percy has fought a little bit of everything, including Titans. He's resisted all sorts of different magical hacks throughout his history. He's just got a lot going for himself. He has a series of unique hacks. I'll start off with his equipment. All he really needs is his badass sword. It's about a 3-foot bronze sword that we were talking earlier should be capable of being utilized against other figures that are magical in nature, such as pretty much every foe he's come across in history. He consistently throws hands with incredibly large and magical creatures such as Polyphemus, children of Gaia, like I said. And a lot of these figures have blatant mountain plus scaling. Some of these figures even stack mountains on one another directly inside the series that he's in. So he's got really impressive just raw strength feats, not to mention the fact that at one point in time he literally held up the heavens in the place of Atlas. And then after having done so, even threw hands with him for a short period of time, and has some pretty crazy reaction speeds to all the figures present, including gods who literally cast light, etc., etc. Percy's just got a lot of really well-rounded things, and all the figures I've mentioned so far, he's tanked attacks from or resisted magical hacks from, and is just an overall kind of brawler with his fists. So he's just kind of low-key packing. He has some, like I said earlier, notable magic resistance. What's up? Hit me with it.
This man said he's packing. Whoa.
Bro, he is. Look at this. Bro, this guy's kit is massive, and you can take that however you want. And that's not even to get into the really fun stuff like his hydrokinesis, most notably, in my opinion, utilized during the final book in the original series, where he creates an entire typhoon around himself that's capable of moving giants, all sorts of magical creatures, and even threatening a demigod who housed, or pushing around, not threatening, but a demigod who was housing Kronos at the time. In my opinion, that typhoon around him is definitely the more frustrating thing, because he can utilize that in order to effectively move large bodies of water in front of any projectile that's going to attack him. And at one point in time, he notably does that against 2 river spirits who are attempting to throw things at him. So he's got some pretty sick hydrokinesis in his kit as well. And not to mention, if Harry does want to win this battle, he's got to keep him away from water, because not only does he get amps from water, but he also gets healing factors from water and can generate entire storms outside of just the water he can manipulate directly around him. He's got a lot going for him.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's way too much. I think his speed scaling, battling primordials, battling characters that can use light beams, battling these mythological beings that have fought before time itself, all that. He's definitely got far superior speed scaling compared to Harry. If you went absolute high-end wank with Harry Potter verse, use the games and then apply that to Harry. First, you gotta find a spell that applies to. But you can then just go with Percy holding up the heavens. So, I think Harry, in terms of, and the biggest discrepancy between the two, and I'm curious to hear what you think about this. I think it's battle IQ. Percy is a prodigy in terms of brilliance on the battlefield. That's literally what his mind is wired to do as a demigod. And he's always been exceptional, even going against Zeus's son.
Yeah, well, even this in his first book, whenever he outsmarts Ares, the god of war, who stated to have infinite strength as well as have an eternity of battle strategy, he was outdone by Percy. You got to, at a certain point, you could say he was maybe taking him too lightly there, but regardless, there's no way to look at that and not think, yo, this kid is on something with the strategies. And he always uses his powers in very unique ways to overcome his foes.
Yeah, the battle IQ, the experience, Percy actually takes it. Far superior feats in that department. Obviously, the AP is a wash. Harry Potter, his biggest issue I would say too is there's a ton of characters from his verse that have a way better arsenal. His arsenal is not that crazy. And it's nothing really of consequence to Percy. That's what makes it such a bad bloodbath. Because it's not
Most of
like
it,
Harry can abandon magic and brawl. He's cooked.
yeah, and like, what's he do? Disarm Percy? Well, like, Percy's still very physically intimidating, and Riptide, that sword that I mentioned earlier, is just going to reappear in his pocket if he's disarmed. And I don't think the lesser stunning spells and things along those lines are going to be of like significant consequence whenever it comes to him, because as I said earlier, he's got magic resistance demonstrated throughout a variety of different times, resisting Carter's or even Celadon's spells pretty consistently, and even has mental defenses and has willed himself through some spells, which doesn't really make a lot of sense too. So in lesser spells, unless like Harry's really going for the kill, I don't think are going to have a lot of effects on him, because I feel like time spells from Kronos are going to scale above what we'd seen in terms of like basic spells from Harry.
Yeah, I just say it's a wash. Like I don't see Harry really having an answer to anything Percy does. There is, of course, nostalgia in the battle, but that can't save Harry's life. If these two were to fight, I think Percy would blend him, especially up close. If he just got up close and threw hands, Harry's super cooked. It's a
Even if
rough outing.
even if we grant him the broom, like we said earlier, it's true that Percy can't necessarily fly, but utilizing his water hacks, he's not only capable of moving himself around on top of that water, or throwing large volumes of water into the air to move him, or he could even create storms that could either throw him off his broom or at least force him into a position where Percy could harm him, or he could just create a typhoon around himself, like he did at the end of Book 5, where he could just create a situation where him being on a broom isn't necessarily an advantage, because that typhoon not only will knock him off that broom, but will throw water in the way of any of his spells, which can block magical attacks.
Yeah, it's a rough day for the boy Harry. He gets cooked here. It's not even close. Make sure to check out Lumos channel. Like I said, he makes a ton of DC content. Branches out every now and then, and definitely we will be going back and forth with collabs. So definitely keep an eye out and subscribe over there as well. Hit the like button here. And if you want to see Harry or anyone from his verse, or Percy Jackson, anyone from his verse, on my channel, let me know in the comment section down below and with the like button, and we'll circle back to them. But yeah, Lumos, thank you so much for hopping on this video. And yeah, we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Air lanterns.